Good afternoon and thanks for joining us today. I'm Mackailyn Johnson. Now at noon, we are following the developments of today's Senate vote that would make Roe v. Wade law. Senate Democrats say they want to put every senator on record about where they stand on abortion rights. The Arkansas Food Bank is experiencing a food shortage. What you need to know. Plus, your pet could be trying to tell you something. Just ahead, what your furry friend may be trying to tell you about their mental health. But first, we're here with meteorologist Nathan Scott. Nathan, it's a sunny day. Is that going to be the same as we go throughout the rest of our work week?
Good afternoon, Mackailyn. The heat is on once again today. You can see the haze in the sky. And look at the visible satellite. A lot less cloud cover than what we have been seeing over the past couple days. So the temperatures are a touch warmer than what we saw this time yesterday. It's 85 in Little Rock, 86 in Conway, 84 in Arkadelphia, 85 in El Dorado. And here's another big difference. We don't have that breeze moving the air around. It's dead air here in Little Rock, just a light breeze across the region. So those dew points in the upper 60s, low 70s, you feel it. As soon as you step outside, that humidity just clings right to you. Here's what it feels like already. 90 in Little Rock. It feels like 91 in Stuttgart. It feels like 91 in Arkadelphia. And these feels like numbers will warm up into the mid to upper 90s through the course of the afternoon. Your actual highs topping out into the low 90s. We could break a 142-year-old record. I'll have more on that and when we could see some slightly cooler conditions coming up.
Thanks, Nathan. And new at noon, crews in Van Buren are working to clear a derailed train on the Arkansas River Bridge. It happened earlier this morning and caused a major traffic backup. The cause of the derailment is not known at this time. Officials hope to have everything cleared and back open by noon. We're working to find out if that happened, and we'll update you on thv-at-noon.com. Well, the Supreme Court could be on the verge of overturning Roe v. Wade. If that happens, it will send shockwaves through American politics and will have an impact on this year's midterm elections. Today's Senate vote will show where lawmakers stand on the very divisive issue. Natalie Brand has more details from Capitol Hill.
The Senate this afternoon will vote on a bill to protect abortion access a little more than a week after Politico published a leaked draft majority opinion from February, which calls for overturning Roe v. Wade.
Vote to protect the fundamental rights of women across the country, or stand with 5 conservative justices ready to destroy these rights in one felled swoop.
When we're talking about abortion, we're talking about the killing of human beings, innocent human beings.
Democrats don't have the votes to break the filibuster.
It requires 60, and we don't have 10 Republicans, even if we had every Democrat.
I will not vote for today. It is not Roe v. Wade codification. It's an expansion.
2 moderate Republicans, Senators Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, have proposed their own more narrow alternative bill.
I am not going to be supporting it. I'm supporting the codification of Roe.
Wednesday's vote comes ahead of the release of the Supreme Court's final ruling in coming weeks, but the draft opinion has led to days of demonstrations nationwide. That includes protests outside the homes of Supreme Court justices.
Trying to scare federal judges into ruling a certain way is far outside the bounds of First Amendment speech or protest.
CBS News polling shows a potential overturn of Roe has yet to motivate most voters, but 40% of Democrats say they would be more likely to vote in this year's midterm elections if Roe is overturned, compared to 17% of Republicans. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Pro-abortion rights protests are planned across the country this weekend, including an estimated 10,000 to 15,000 marching to the U.S. Supreme Court. And the Senate confirmed the first black woman to serve on the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors. Lisa Cook has a doctorate in economics from the University of California, Berkeley, and was on the White House Council of Economic Advisors during the Obama administration. Vice President Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote after all 50 Republicans voted against her, arguing she doesn't have sufficient experience with interest rate policy. And the latest consumer price index report is set to be released today. It's expected to show inflation has already reached a peak and slightly dipped in March, but economists warn prices could remain elevated. President Biden says easing inflation in his administration's top priority. Here in Arkansas, gas prices are starting to climb again, but this time a new record high average. Within the last month or so, we've seen gas prices level out, but it didn't take long for them to spike up again. According to AAA, Arkansas is in the right area to see prices break the record high of $3.97, which was set back in July of 2008. And these high prices are causing some to tighten up their budget.
It's like, whoa. So it's honestly hitting the wallet, but it is what it is. I have no power to change that.
There's certainly potential for Arkansas to break its previous high for the statewide average gas price. Certainly if it's going to happen.
Nick Shabaria with AAA says with summer around the corner, we can expect to see prices fluctuate because the price of crude oil is moving, which makes up for more than half of the price of gas that we pay for. He encourages Arkansans to plan ahead, especially with Memorial Day nearing, which brings with it a higher demand for gas. And developing this afternoon, we're getting a look at new images showing the final moments when police closed in on the fugitive couple from Alabama. Jail escapee Casey White is now in custody, and Vicky White, the former corrections officer who allegedly helped him, is dead after a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Our Bradley Blackburn has the details.
Casey, was it worth it? Casey White, the 6-foot 9-inch tall fugitive, is now back behind bars in Alabama. He was arraigned at the Lauderdale County Courthouse Tuesday night, just hours after police ended an 11-day manhunt in Evansville, Indiana. This dashcam footage shows the moments after White was pulled from his overturned getaway car. Inside, former corrections officer Vicky White, who had just shot herself in the head. An autopsy confirmed her death as a suicide.
She still got it in her hand. I don't know.
Got the gun in her hand?
Yes.
We have photos of the weapons that were located in the vehicle.
Police recovered an AR-15, handguns, wigs, and thousands of dollars in cash. Officials say if they hadn't rammed the getaway car to end the pursuit, things could have gone differently.
Had they not done that, the fugitive was going to engage in a shootout with law enforcement.
Casey White referred to Vicky White as his wife. There's no evidence they got married or were related. Leading up to the escape, police say Vicky White sold her house and escorted Casey White from jail in her patrol car under the guise she was taking him to a mental health evaluation. Her law enforcement colleagues are still trying to understand why.
Vicky was a friend of all of us. I'm very disappointed in what she did. I have no explanation for why she did it.
Having put in for retirement, that day of the escape was also the day Vicky White had said previously would be her final one on the job. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Well, if you live close to Pine Bluff Arsenal, don't be alarmed if you hear small explosions and see smoke coming from the installation. The Arsenal says you will be hearing the destruction of obsolete production items conducted by personnel from the Little Rock Air Force Base. The project is part of an ongoing effort by the Arsenal to address potential safety, health, and environment issues. Well, resurfacing work continues on Canis Road in West Little Rock today. It comes after we first told you about several complaints of uneven and bumpy areas of pavement right after crews finished widening a stretch of Canis west of Bowman Road. Little Rock Public Works said it likely happened because of a mistake when pouring the asphalt. We're told the resurfacing work should be done by the end of the week. Well, inflation is infecting every single one of us, but the people with the least ability to cope are getting hit the hardest. Food charities say it's getting harder and harder to help. The Arkansas Food Bank says their supply is lower than it was pre-pandemic. The nonprofit is turning over this entire warehouse in about 5 weeks.
We're starting to have some serious concerns about our inventory levels and what we can offer the pantries. It's been many years since we've been able to offer this little food to our pantries.
Soaring oil prices are only making it worse. The food bank's fuel bills have gone up 50%. And we want to remind you, we still need teams to sign up for the THV11 Summer Cereal Drive. That's coming up next month. We need churches, businesses, schools, and organizations to create a team to collect boxes of cereal and breakfast treats for the Arkansas Food Bank. For more information, text the word cereal to 501-376-1111. Well, have you noticed a change in your pet's mental health after the pandemic? Tips to help your furry friend just ahead.
And it is a hot, hazy day around central Arkansas. Record highs will most likely be shattered in many spots this afternoon. I'll let you know when some cooler weather and wetter weather re-enters the forecast next.